Hi, my name is Mikko, and the reason why I'm actually sitting on my attic staircase is the fact that my Homelab rack and hardware is running on the up landing, to say. So the reason why I'm making this video is that a couple of weeks ago there was a conversation online that what people are running with what hardware. So I decided to make this video to showcase. So let's check it out. So, like almost everyone, I'm running Unify. I'm running Dream Machine SE, and one of the main reasons why I did pick it had actually nothing to do with the speed or anything like that, but it was the fact that there are hard drive bay on it. We are 3 of these cables are running outside cameras, which are actually Unify G5 bullets. There was some cheap discount on the 3-pack of G5s, even though the C6s had come out, so I decided to go with them. 2 of the cables are actually running Unify access points. One of them is U6 Lite and the other one is U7 Lite. So even though one of them is in this closed space, just standing on the metal roof, they do cover the house quite well. It's only like 140 square meters the house, so it's just fine. The signal is good on both sides of the house, and basically the living area is on one floor, so it seems to be fine. Next one on my rack, what I'm actually running, there's an old Home Assistant Blue, and I run Home Assistant for some automations. I hardly ever use the dashboard, so it's basically a backbone for the automations. It runs some outside light automations at evenings. I live in Finland, so it gets quite dark. So at specific times or at sunset, it turns the outside lights on and turn them off at specific times. Also, I'm running Home Fridge on it, so I can control my lights with Apple HomePods or iPhone. So that's the main reason, nothing too fancy, but something to automate with. Next to it is actually, I know what do you call it, these? I actually connect 2 outside speakers, IP65 proofed. They are under the roof, basically, to play music. And there's some old Amazon Echo just for the Spotify connection. So on my iPhone, I can just check the Spotify app and play some music. And at the bottom of the rack is actually my server. I just took the lid off and did something you should never do, and I actually moved the PC while it's running. I can't remember the full specs without checking, but it's basically running Ryzen something, I think 7 series or 5 series. I'll put the specs on the side. And 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. Also, it's running, I think, 560 Ti 16 gigabit card for basic AI, slight AI tasks and transcoding for Plex. And I know it's popular to hate Plex at the moment, but it works. So, and then there's one 4 terabyte hard drive. At the straight pass through to Plex through Proxmox. I'll go through the software side in just a bit, but so yeah, it's basically there is a 1 terabyte boot drive, SSD, NVMe there somewhere, I think there, and yeah, it's fine. It doesn't get hot at the moment, at least. I'm gonna talk about this space in a moment, but it's quiet. It does what it needs. It doesn't crash. So it's fine. And I did get it quite good price just before the prices went out of the roof. So yeah. So let's talk about this space just a bit. The reason why this rack has been set up here is the fact that the fiber itself comes from other side of the house. There really wasn't any possibility to move it, even though they just dug it. And there wasn't really any good space to set the rack. So I did drop a Cat6a cable into the wall and got it outside basically where the ISP modem is. And I just came with the cable through the attic and placed it here for two reasons. Quiet, it's behind doors so you can't hear it. That's the spousal approval. The other thing is that at winter, this space basically keeps itself like in 5 to 10 degrees Celsius, so it's cold always. So the machine doesn't need basically any ventilation. But if you figured out something on that, it's basically there's no insulation outside these walls, the roof and two walls. So the fact is that at summer times it gets hot as hell. So I have a solution for that, but it's basically on the progress. I'm making it. So I'm gonna actually go through the wall, or I'm gonna go through the floor, because under there is basically not a staircase to the garage and places like that. So I could get cold air from there. So I'm doing it probably in the next couple of weeks. So I know it's not optimal, but you know, the house was made in the 60s, so you have to make some choices, and this is the choice I made. So in the winter, I'm actually running the rack with all the doors and the walls closed, so they keep the computers and stuff like under 20 degrees Celsius, so it's just fine, it's running smooth. And for the summer, I'm taking the walls off, so it runs cool. And the PC server itself has a couple of Noctua fans, so it doesn't make any sound at all, so it's fine. And the temperature has never risen on the PC itself more than like 60 degrees, so it's not that bad. I'm slightly worried at times for the Unify. It gets hot, but I had an extra fan, USB fan, last summer, and it dropped the temperature like 10 degrees, so it's fine. But I have a solution for that, so let's see. One thing, at the moment, I'm not running any UPS, so don't do it like I do. So get the UPS, I'm getting also, but I would probably make the ventilation system first, so yeah, getting there. So let's talk about the software I'm running on my Homelab. Like I said, everything is running on Proxmox, on bare metal, and basically everything else is running on VMs on top of that. So the first VM I'm actually running is Windows 11 for my data management. I know there is another solutions. I've been running Ubuntu and some ready-made solutions previously, but this time I decided to actually just make a Windows 11 VM and basically make a share on that. So the 4 terabyte drive I have running in my machine is actually on a straight pass-through to the Windows machine, and also the graphics card is on a pass-through to the Windows machine. So that's basically for two reasons. Like I said, I'm doing all the data management, basically my storage and Plex media and that on the Windows side. And the graphics card is doing two things. It's basically running a hard code transforming or transcoding on Plex on Windows. And the other one is that I'm running Homelab, so basically a solution for running small local LLMs, so basically your own AI on your own machine. You don't probably speak Finnish, but here you can see what I have been testing. So it's Homelab for me. I don't ask questions or anything like that. So the things I do are actually tied to automations. So it might check my emails once an hour and see if there's all the spam gets deleted, and if there's anything smart, they will be sent on to my iPhone through WhatsApp. So talk about that later. But yeah, the second thing I'm actually running is Ubuntu server, or Ubuntu, how you say it. And on top of that, there's a running Docker. Docker is basically a container platform or solution. And I'm actually running Portainer as the first container, which means that I get to do all the things for the Docker containers on a graphical interface. Yeah, you don't have to do it on command line, which is fine also. But for me, I think it's just easier. I can, with a quick glance, see how they're doing and, things like that. The first major one I'm actually running on Docker is basically a Heimdall. Heimdall is this graphical interface where you can basically put apps or links to your services that you're running. They can be links to the web, or in this case, on my own network. So it just, I don't have to remember every IP address or port or anything. That I can just click. Also, I have a proxy manager, which basically does the same thing. So I don't have to remember the port. I can give it a name on my internal network. So like it's heimdall.lan, not some IP address and port. So yeah, just to make it easier for myself. The first actually container running at the moment is Booklore. It's basically just a platform for ebooks. So I can, all the ebooks I have, I can put it there and go with my phone to that address and see, I want to read that and download it to my phone. So Cloudflare is basically a Cloudflare tunnel, because some services I can access actually through over the internet with a domain name I have, and Cloudflare tunnel, and they are doing all the basically securing the connection and things like that. DrinkMe is actually just a small page that I'm running on my server, and I can access with my phone, so I can save there all the wines with images I have ranked and what they cost and is it good or not. So the same for whiskey and basically drinks, so I can get the recipes from there. I don't have to search them or remember them. So yeah, like I said, Heimdall is running. MariaDB is just a database. N8N is basically an automation solution I'm running on my server. Here's an example what it does. So you can do pretty much anything. But what I am doing actually, that if I'm browsing the net with my phone and I see, let's say I'm at the town and there's a poster for nice Linux ISO. Yeah, Linux, not Linus, Sebastian, Linux ISO. And I have the magnet link. I can just send myself a Telegram message for the bot I have made, and the bot triggers an automation which basically just tells Qubit torrent solution to start downloading the link. It's automation. I don't have to go to any site or anything. I just send a Telegram message and it does. There's also different branches that if I send a message asking something, it can answer what's the status of the download or things like that. So it's just basically automation to help myself. So many things I try to do are actually things that I don't have to stare a screen, or phone is a screen, but less and less is always better. So also, like I said, my N8N actually does check my email, and it throws away all the trash and things like that. And it's basically a data management system. I know you could do it on Gmail or whatever you're using, but that's just easier. Olama is tied to that, so Olama checks the mails and sees that if it's anything smart or useful, it will save it. And if it's important that there's running like you have 1 hour to do something, then it's gonna notify me through WhatsApp. So yeah. The next thing what I was talking about, no, I was at the Portainer. Yeah, PriceWatch was something actually just check some cat litter prices. It's not running at the moment, and it was just some test I made. Actually, the first test I made with, I think, Claude Code,
when it came out, and I did make some tests. Now it's been running at the background without any use, but yeah, still. And the BitTorrent it's torrent to download ISOs. Yeah. The next thing actually what I want to talk about is kasm. Kasm is basically a workplace platform. So at the moment it works like a sandbox. I'm inside a browser and I can start a Brave browser. So I can go to some site. If someone sends a link and you are not really sure what the link is, you can go with Brave to that link and open it safely because it's inside a container, inside a sandbox, so it doesn't have a way to infect your computer. Also, you can basically use it to search ISOs or whatever you want, because mine is actually running through VPN. I use Proton VPN and this container runs through that, so it's just extra layer of privacy and safety. And the best part is that when you have done searching for, let's say, Wikipedia, and you go and do whatever, after that you can delete session, and all the data has been deleted. It doesn't save anything, so here's the extra security once again. Yeah, like I said, I'm actually running Home Assistant. I do have a dashboard, but it's mainly if something breaks, I can check it why. And like I said, you can see the main problem is that I don't update it as often I should, but it just works. I like to things work on the background without me touching them, so that's basically for that. Booglore, we did go. AI is actually the Olama running on the Windows, so it's basically this, but this was a link to OpenWeb UI, which is basically a clone of ChatGPT, the front page. At the moment, the OpenWeb UI is not running because I was testing it for automations, because you can do all sorts of things with that. So I do have the link, and I just need to spin up the container once again and to use it. So yeah. Seer is basically a web search. It combines multiple web searches like Google and Bing and whatever you want. But the main thing is what it does is it actually strips all the tracking data that the big companies, search engines like Google, place on the search, and it basically just gives you how long did it take, and it gives you the raw data. And you can see here it comes from Bing and DuckDuckGo, and there's no tracking involved. They don't know what you're searching. So occasionally I like my privacy, so I just used it time. I'm still searching. If you go back to Heimdall, it's still Google search, but I have the possibility. And one of the main reasons why I did set it up is because this is Seer is great way to give some LLM providers a web search. They can link into the Seer API and search through that, so it's multitask. If I want to do something on the background, it can search the web through that. So yeah, basically, yeah, I almost forgot, I have a Q BitTorrent for Jellyfin. I'm testing Jellyfin because everyone hates Plex, right? And I don't blame you. I've been just testing because I want them to download to different folders and see how they do stuff. So I've been testing it, so that's why I have to do them. I have to do them at the moment. Yeah, my Homelab by itself is quite simple. It does some stuff. Some might say you don't speak Finnish, but it says full access here. This is actually the ChatGPT codex. I have given it full access. I know you shouldn't, but at that machine, basically there isn't much private data except those ISOs. And if it wants to do something with them, go ahead. I don't really care because I have backup. So, and speaking on the backup, let's go back to the machine and I show you and tell you something.
Okay, the thing I was talking about, this is the point what never do like I have done it. Be smart. I have the boot drive somewhere there, which basically runs all the Proxmox and Windows and that. This drive, which is the pass-through to the Windows VM, is basically where all the ISOs and stuff like that go. And you could say that because it's one drive, it's the place where they go die. If that drive fails, you lose your data. I don't mind it because I have actually on-site backup. It's just a USB drive where I occasionally move the stuff. But the main thing is that I'm running also Tailscale. So I have another machine off-site, which every night backs this hard drive to identical hard drive there. And there is a provisioning, so it doesn't, if I delete something from this drive, it doesn't delete it on the other side drive. And if something breaks, it doesn't break the other drive. So there's basically backup on backup. So you should never do it like this. But, the hard drive prices are what are. So I just decided that it's the best solution for me. So, yeah. So, I know this was quite a quick and not so polished review of my Homelab. But, I just wanted to make it because there was conversation that what do people use and how they use it. So here's my quite brief, not so brief, but simple overview and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks for watching. And if you have anything to ask, please ask. I don't know if I can answer it because I'm not that smart, but we can always try. See ya.